Okay, everyone, I'm here today. Very lucky to have guests from Montreal, which is quite far for those of you that don't know Canada. They're in town for a competition. We have an Olympic judoka, and we have two judokas who have competed, at a very high level since they were kids. Can you guys please just introduce yourself and talk about your accolades at competition a little bit?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Laura Portuondo Isasi.
And I'm Adriana Portuondo Isasi.
We started judo when we were 8 and 9 years old. My dad, he wanted us to know how to defend ourselves, so it was very important for him. And we slowly started doing competition. We fall in love with that sport. It became very quick our passion. And one day we decided we want to pursue the dream to go to the Olympic. So I did it. Like I said, this year I participate to the 2024 Paris Olympic Games, and it was amazing. The best experience of my life.
Unreal. Yeah.
The big check mark, it was my dream. But now that it's done, I feel like I want more. I want more challenge, and this is the reason why I'm starting jiu-jitsu.
Interesting you say that, because I have this conversation all the time with my friends who are coaches and gym owners. The value of competition. So I hate competing. I get miserable for months leading up to it. My wife just avoids me because I'm just a nightmare. I think there's some benefit, but in your opinion, what do you think of competing all the time? Does that really help you improve, or do you really need to compete that much? Or is competition, in your opinion, even what if you just train like you're going to compete but never compete? Like, what do you what's your take on that? The value in terms of growing and progressing.
I think we need a balance in everything we do in life. And if you always compete, some people think it's a good thing to try what you learn in practice. I don't think it's necessarily that good to always be competing. I think we need to be selective. We need to also be aware of if we have injuries, So I think we need to find a balance between competing and training hard. But for sure, competition is the perfect opportunity for you to try what you learn, what you've been practicing. So
and then see what needs to be cleaned up. Yeah.
Plus, in practice, you train pretty much with the same persons. It's a different stress, so you need to go out there and try.
So I'm just curious, because I kind of do this for jiu-jitsu. I'm much more recreational than you, but I compete, and whenever I lose, for me, I've done 500 competition matches. Every time I lose, I remember even when I was 15 and I forged my mom's signature, I got to the finals in the adult division and I got armbarred. And it's because I went into closed guard. And to this day, it still burns me. Yeah. Do you have that same thing where you make a mistake and what do you do after? Do you go watch the video and change your strategy, or do you analyze it? How do you approach post tournament?
Yeah, no, for me it's it still burns inside. Yeah. I'm I don't like that. We high level athletes, we always want to win. We cannot always win. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. I rather say I learn than I lose. So for sure, in the moment, all the emotions are there. Yeah. My sister can tell you more about that. But I think the most important is to reflect and try to learn from your mistake, and just try to do better next time.
That's and for me, I'm such a nervous competitor. I compete with some guys and it's such a close match, and I roll with them in the dojo. I'm man, that was easy. You have tips for people competing? For me, I competed a lot to get over that. It's gotten better, but it's still terrible. What for someone who's done the freaking Olympics? What do you say mentally for people that are mentally weak?
I don't like to use that mentally weak. I don't like that term, but I will say I get nervous when I have to perform, when I have to compete. I think when you breathe, the exercise of breathing, taking your time, it can help. I like to be in my zone with my music, walk around, but the breathing, it helped to regulate the anxiety and stress for sure.
Okay, so focus on basically something else. That makes sense. The average BJJ person, I think jiu-jitsu is hard enough where maybe they don't want to spend that time to learn judo. And that's also a lot of, it's very taxing on the body. In your opinion, and I understand you're still kind of getting into jiu-jitsu, but what do you think is the best takedown for BJJ? Where if I mess it up, I'm not going to have someone on my back, or I'm not going to fall in bottom side control. It's not a lot of energy. I don't need to be overly explosive or strong or fast. The average BJJ person, what do you think is the best takedown for them in a competition?
I think the less risky, it's working with the foot sweeps. I love doing seonagi, uchimata, everything exposing my back in judo. That's something I love. and I quickly learned in jiu-jitsu it's in the same game. So I go for the foot sweeps, osotogari, ouchigari. It's very powerful too. And then like I adapt every seonage I want to try to.
So it's interesting you say that, because I've noticed a theme where in Nogi, especially if you look at the B team guys, you know, like Craig Jones.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah,
of it.
if you look at him, he's always doing overhook. I think it's like either uchimata or he's cutting across both legs. What is that called?
Taetoshi.
I think so. I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but so I think there's definitely some, you know, you can apply that in BJJ, and I think we're
Yeah.
starting to see that more and more. I remember he hit it on Dante Leon, who's like a very strong, short, thick wrestler. So that really made me go, oh, that could be very nice. So what I'd like, if you don't mind, in terms of the foot sweeps, could you break it down for me? You know, like, do all foot sweeps fall under a certain name, or are there different types of foot sweeps depending on if they're moving, straight line, circular?
Yeah.
Or because sometimes I've seen people block the foot and push them over, and sometimes I've seen when they're walking, they sweep the foot out with the
Yes.
hockey stick.
Yeah.
So can you tell me about what the difference is?
Yeah, let's say for deshibarai, I often do that.
You wanna show me?
Absolutely.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed is I'll have a lot of students, and they used to do judo. They're judo black belts, not Olympic level, but like more recreational. And they would come to me at 30, 35 years old, and they say, you know, I love grappling, but I can't do judo. It's too hard on my body.
Yeah.
Do you kind of agree with that? Like, because what I notice is judokas are very intense, athletic people. BJJ people are like dad bod, you know, couple beers a week, eat some wings, right? Like it's a very different thing. You know, do you feel that?
To be honest, yes, I love judo. It's my first love. It's my passion, but I do think it's hard on the body. I feel like I have less chance to get like injured.
In BJJ, it's more like chronic use, wear and tear, versus judo seems to be like high impact, acute injury. Just one last question, just because you're so high level in judo, I'm very curious to hear your take on this. And you've now done jiu-jitsu, and you know, you've competed in jiu-jitsu. If I'm a regular white belt or blue belt, and I'm recreational, I train jiu-jitsu like a couple times a week, I'm not very good, but I want to at least have some confidence on the feet. What do you recommend that I do? Like if I were to pick on one throw, like one takedown, whatever it is, what would you say it would be? Foot sweep?
Foot sweeps and osotogari. It's my favorite technique. Okay. I think it's one of the less risky for jiu-jitsu. And you don't expose your back too much, and it's very efficient. You don't expose your back that much. It's very efficient, and if you do it quick, it can surprise. Like I think it's a pretty safe technique.
I have a very funny story about that. I don't know if funny is the word. My first judo class ever, when I was like a young teenager, a big guy threw me, I popped my rib. Just in drilling, not even in rolling. And then some guy taught me osotogari. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm small, it's not gonna work. So I kind of did it hard. We ended up both falling so fast, the guy got knocked unconscious, and I chipped my front tooth. So that has been my experience. So I would say yes, it's probably an effective throw, but okay, I'll keep. You know, I really like the uchimata you showed. That's definitely something I want to work on. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, I gotta start my class. Good luck.
Thanks.